What's up, YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson back once again here, still alive from Ice-mageddon 2026. Thank you so much for tuning in for this update here in Central North Carolina, and we've got a lot to share. Well, I've got a lot to share with you. The main point right now is clearly, if you didn't check it out, I did a video before Ice-mageddon. That's what I nicknamed it because that's what they said. They said we were going to get 1.5 inches of ice, 1 3/4 inches of ice, and guess what? We got 0 freezing rain here. They were completely wrong. We got all sleet, and then the sleet kind of got smashed up into ice, and we still got ice on our roads. But I don't know if you can even see here on the back porch. The back porch here, as I've mentioned several times about, and this goes into lawn care, knowing your lawn, knowing where the sun hits different areas of your lawn when we're planting our grass seed. We need to know where the sun hits and where the sun don't hit. You may need sun and shade in some areas, but you see we still got some of the stuff, and under the new Blackstone and on our steps, we still got ice and all this stuff over here. So we got ice and slippery spots, so you definitely have to be careful. We'll take a look at the front yard here in a moment probably, and just go check that out before the next round comes in. And that's really the big hype and the big news right now, is we got this low that's going to form off the coast of South Carolina, North Carolina, and everybody's like, snow in Florida. It's like, that's great. They're talking about 12 to 18 inches yesterday here in Central North Carolina. Now they've backed that down, and I knew they would. I put online, and like everybody in Raleigh was agreeing. I said, there is no way that Raleigh gets 12 inches of snow. I'm just calling it right now. But I saved the screenshot. 12 to 18 inches of snow in Central North Carolina and Raleigh. There's no way that's going to happen. I don't think they got that right. And then you got other models that's showing 22 inches of snow. So I just don't believe it. And I'll believe it when I see it. I'll put it that way. Of this morning, obviously I work for a city municipality, as I mentioned, in Raleigh, and we get updates from the National Weather Service in Raleigh, and they claimed in their slideshow this morning, and that's Thursday morning filming this, they're claiming 12 to 18 from the National Weather Service, and they're a trusted source. But when I look on the local news, they're saying between 3 to 6. So I don't know what to believe. Possibly higher in my area. So I don't know, but this is going to be all snow. It shouldn't be as bad. There shouldn't be power outages or anything. We're just going to get more moisture. I mean, and as you guys know, here in Central North Carolina, we haven't gotten a lot of rain lately, so we really need the rain, or the precipitation, I should say. And so covering it again with snow, I'm all for it. And if we're going to get snow, let's just get a bunch, baby, and hopefully it'll warm up afterwards. But that doesn't look like the case. Typically in North Carolina, we get a snowstorm, and then it turns around at 60 degrees the next day, and all melts away. And that's why I love North Carolina. But this is an unusual dip from the Arctic vortex or whatever all the way down to Florida, and they're talking about flurries in Florida, which is nuts. So the weather always changes. So that's what we're looking forward to here. As far as the Blackstone, guys, for those that are interested, I know many of you commented that have it, and some of you may not have it. This thing has been awesome. We cooked the first meal, as I mentioned. I did all the seasoning and smoked it off and did it over and over and over again to prep it. And then we had steaks, the ribeyes and New York strips. They were absolutely delicious. We're done with our Daniel fast. And so we had that. Those were amazing. Then I think the best so far that I've cooked on this thing is my wife came out. We cooked 2 packs of bacon, and then we did like 4 or 5 eggs, and that was absolutely unbelievable. I felt like Waffle House, man. It was tons of bacon, delicious eggs. I like them over easy. She likes them cooked a little longer. So they're not runny, but it was absolutely delicious on this Blackstone. That's breakfast so far has been my favorite. Then we did do burgers, but my wife kind of patted them out a little too small, and so they shrunk a lot, obviously, but they were cooked perfect, and they were juicy. They were just a little small. I don't like so much crust on the outside of the burgers. I'm weird like that, but my daughter does, so I tried to treat her. But so far, we are loving this thing, and again, it's propane powered, so if we do happen to lose power, we can suck it up, and I'll have to show you this once we get into warmer weather, because I did buy some accessories for it that likely others have bought as well, just off tips from YouTube. So that's kind of what's going on there. But the big news here in the Ferguson house, guys, I got to tell you, I got to brag on God a little bit, because about 5 years ago, we had an issue with our HVAC unit, and it just cut off, like, and we're like, what the crap, like everything just cut off. It starts getting, I don't know if I can't remember the season, but it cut off, whether it was warmer or cold. It was we had no heating and air, and we were like, what in the world? And so we're going in the attic, we're checking, we're calling my dad, I'm calling her dad, and her dad is a handyman, my dad is as well, and they're giving us advice on what to do. I don't think, and we narrowed it down to possibly the circuit board in the handler up in the attic, because our handler is in the attic above, and so it was popping a fuse on that circuit board, and we would put a new fuse in, turn the power on, it'd pop it again, and we're like, what the heck? Well, eventually we put a new fuse in without doing anything. We just waited, we looked, we checked voltage, we did all this stuff, we put in a new fuse, turned the power on, and it came back on. We're like, hey, guess what? That lasted for 4 years or 5 years. That was 2020 or 2021 at the latest. So it's 2026 now. Well, it did it again about 2 weeks ago. It was raining outside, and all of a sudden the AC kicks off, or the thermostat goes blank again, and I'm like, oh no, not this again. So we go up there, same thing. She's calling her dad, we're checking voltage, I'm turning the breakers off, and we're like, what the heck? We put in a new fuse is blown, we put in a new fuse, and try to turn it on, pops it. Then we're calling her dad, we'll try doing it in this order, pops it. So we're fiddling around, trying to figure out what is the problem. After an hour, put a new fuse in, turn it on, it works. We're like, it's back up. We did basically nothing, and it's like, it's working again. So we're like, thanks, we're good. And that lasted for about a week. Then all the snow happens. We noticed it's kind of melting outside. It cuts off again for a second time here in the past 2 weeks. Okay, well, we know the drill. Like, let's get up there, popping fuses again. Like, what the heck is going on? So eventually, after time, about an hour, we put in a new fuse, try the same order that we tried before. It comes back up. We're like, there it is. So it happened again 2 nights ago. And my wife got up, she heard a dog barking. It's 2 a.m., 2:30, and she's like, the thermostat's off again. And I'm like, and so we're laying there at 2:30 in the morning, work day, can't sleep, thinking about, we got to get up there, we got to replace the fuse, do the same thing we've done, but we don't really know what the problem is. And I'm like, what the heck? So we tried to go through the same process again, and we could not get that we popped 3 fuses again. We got a whole bunch of fuses, and we popped them again, which, of course, looking on ChatGPT and AI the best that I can, calling the father-in-laws, we're like, it's a dead short somewhere, but we don't know the technical stuff. And so once I'm getting in the weeds with AI on, you need to unplug this and narrow down where the problem is, inside or outside, I'm like, that's a little too much above my head. I don't want to screw something up. And so it's 4 o'clock in the morning at this time. I said, I'm just going to go to work. I'm scheduling somebody. We got to figure out what this is. This keeps happening, and it's just weighing on your mind. My wife's crying. The girls, we got the propane fire on that we didn't use during Ice-Mageddon, so we're heating the house up that way, and we're like, Lord, we just need you. And so, all the way to work, I schedule, so I look up a local company. Shout out to Michael and Sons. Absolutely amazing, and you'll find out why in here in a second. So I'm like, I'm going with them. They're like, that's big business. She's like, I said, there's a snowstorm coming, Madison. We've got to get this fixed. It's time. We can't fiddle around with this. If it's a part we need, hopefully this big company will have a part. So that's why I went with Michael and Sons. I didn't look at reviews. It was all advertising stuck in my head, and that's, honest to God, that's why I picked them. If you can, we can, Michael and Son. I'm picking them. And I looked them up. I scanned it. I said, yes, they do. No heat. Filled out the quick survey. Booked an appointment between 12 and 6 yesterday, which would be on Wednesday, whenever you're watching this. And so prayed all the way to work. I said, well, I'm going to work early. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, I'm going to go to work early. I've got things I got to do, and I'll be back by noon to be here with him. So I told my boss and explained it to coworkers, praying all day. Lord, please be in this. Lord, please send us the right technician. Please let it not be $1,000. This could they may say we need to replace the whole thing. I have no idea what's wrong. I don't know what the issue is. So the guy showed up right around 3 o'clock or so. Super nice. He's like, hey, what's up? We told him all this that I've told you in a summarized version. He's like, okay, I'm just going to check some things outside. I'll be back. He was outside for 10 minutes, walked inside, brought his ladder in, went upstairs. Me and my wife were talking, and within 12 minutes of the guy pulling in my driveway, we hear the vent kick on. I'm like, no way. And so I was like, okay. And so he's like, oh yeah. And he sends us these pictures right here. So there was a wire on the outside unit that was touching the refrigerant line inside of the HVAC unit on the outside, and it had burned through the plastic and was hitting metal, causing the dead short. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yep, it's right there. That's all it was. I just put some tape on it, kept it away from it. You're good. And within 15 minutes, this guy, shout out to Andrew from Michael & Son, fixed it that quick. And I'm like, my wife started crying. She's like, oh, when it weighs on your mind, you don't know what the problem is, you don't know what the cost of it is, it weighs on you, man. And so God absolutely answered that prayer. I said, now how in the world, Andrew, did we fix it with the, we didn't really fix it, we just kept replacing the fuses. He said it had to be the wind blew or something on that wire to push it off of that refrigerant where the metal to metal disconnected. And so basically God allowed us to keep heat when we needed it. And I said, but we got to get this straight before the storm. And we got to have our unit. We can't depend on it going out. We got to have it. And so I just give God praise. That's a long story, but it's an answer to prayer. And I give God the glory. It isn't me. Michael's son was the tool. And I just got, and he only charged us $95. I mean, we thought it was going to, in my mind, I'm thinking this is at least going to be $500. If it's a circuit board, it could be upwards to $750. Like, I was thinking big numbers. $95 out of my pocket. I give God glory and praise. But I know if you didn't care about that, we're going to go into more lawn care stuff right now. But I just have to give God credit. And thank God, before the snow comes, we've got working heat in the home now. So real fast, we will walk the lawn. I just want to show you pre-snowpocalypse. Who knows how many. I put online that I think we get 2 inches, but I hope to be wrong. I hope it is 12. It would be very cool. But the grass continues to look good. Now it's getting some hydration, but we do have ice and stuff all over the place. I'm not going to walk all over the lawn. We'll just walk in the front. But you can see as Natalie gets ready to go to school, very slippery here in my Skechers. But we've got ice piles obviously still in the lawn. And those continue to melt a little bit, but you don't normally see this in our driveway, but we got ice piles here in the driveway. And Sarah Jane had to put one of her squishies on the thing. So anyways, so we got ice in the lawn, but again, more snow cover here. It is very cold, and it's only going to get colder with this push of Arctic air, but the lawn continues to hold its color. And with all of this snow and ice coming down as far south as it is, stuff that we're not used to, negative temperatures up north, this is just going to push our soil temperatures. As I walked out here, guys, I looked on Greencast, and you can see where everybody's running through the grass right here, but I'm not going to say anything. I just noticed it. When I walked out here, the soil temperatures in Raleigh were 31 degrees. The 5-day average is 32. So we are nowhere near pre-emergent time. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video is when are we looking to be able to put down pre-emergent for the spring to stop our crabgrass? We're not there. We're 20 degrees off. Let me just put it that way. We are 20 degrees soil temperature wise off, not air temperature. When we're looking at doing our pre-emergent, we're looking at our soil temperature. And when we got stuff like this, we know we're nowhere close. But in the midst of all this, I did put some seed out here many weeks ago. I'd say 3 or 4, and you can see where I used the garden weasel, and it has come up, and it's not dead. It's trying to grow a little bit, and same thing up here in the side. It's getting watered, and I took out some of the poa-triv that was right here and replanted some grass, and some new grass has come up, but stuff like this absolutely looks like Poa annua or poa-triv. And then here's the grass I put in a pot for Sarah Jane to let her watch. But most of the time, end of February, I think I've put most of my pre-emergent down at the end of February. That's when on a typical year, we're somewhere close to 55 degrees, and that is our target. 52, 53, 54 degree soil temperatures, that is when you want to do your pre-emergent. Why? Because crabgrass begins to germinate at 55. And so we want to put our pre-emergent down before the crabgrass comes up. It doesn't mean you see crabgrass. It means it starts to pop up underneath your eye. You can't see it. And so that's what we're looking to do. But right now, we're nowhere close to you. So we will update. We will talk about this again in the future. But as of right now, we're just super cold. We still got Mr. Kevin's house over here. We still got snow and ice all over the place. Nobody's really thinking about lawn care. And if you're watching this, you're somebody that does care. You're probably anxious to get out there. And that's about all from North Carolina. God is good. We got heat. We're trying to judge. I need to get I don't know what the appropriate word is, a gauge on my my little propane tank to let me know how much is in there, but I'm trying to figure that out. I don't have one, and so I'm trying to run my gas logs to see if I need to fill up to find out if we need that but we got our HVAC working, and I give God praise. So that's what's going on here in central North Carolina. It is cold, but we're surviving, and we're anxious for this snow. We don't normally get snows over 8 inches, so we don't normally get 6 inches, so 6 would be awesome. Enjoy the time you may be caved in to your home, and God bless each and every one of you. Give God glory and praise. He is good. We'll check you on the next update. God bless.